This is the No Swear Gamer from YouTube and the Atari 1700 Game by Game podcast, and you are listening to the podcasting pride of the Smoky Mountains, the Two Dudes in a Nest, with your hosts, Dude Michael and Dude Justin.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. Just ready to talk about some Rockin Kats tonight.
Yeah. For a podcast that talks so much about cats, surprisingly, it's taken us this long to cover this game.
I know. I'm a little bit surprised myself because, lots of cat talk. I got plenty of cat talk for tonight, too. So, listeners, do not worry.
I've got a cat right next to me. He's here for the show.
That's what I was expecting. I was hoping she'd be around, or he. I don't remember what sex your cat is, but
we have both a he and a she, but the he is outside now,
where he should be. Those he's there. They need to be outside cats.
Tomcatting around. Yeah. Tomcatting around.
Yeah, you remember?
Well, he shouldn't be tomcatting. He's fixed. Oh, could be doing a whole lot of that.
Nah, it doesn't stop them sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember my...
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, you remember my Tomcat, or actually it was Matthew's, I guess, back in the day. Link.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him? He was pretty dumb, but he did some Tomcatting. It's always the big dumb ones. He's kind of fat, he's kind of dumb, but he got a lot of tail. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I've got a cat that's fat, dumb. She though.
Yeah, they would have got along great then. Right. Link and her.
Now was Link the one though that would open doors?
No, that was Zelda. So I had Link and I had Zelda. Okay. Link was the boy and Zelda was the girl. They were brother and sister. And Link was big, fat, and dumb. He drooled like a dog. I don't know why. But he would just lay around all day and wouldn't do anything, just kind of being lazy. And then he would go out at night and he'd look for the ladies. I don't think, he was fixed. Zelda was not fixed, obviously, because
I know Zelda was not fixed.
She was a bit of a hoochie mama. She'd go out, she'd go out. I think she got knocked up about 3 or 4 times. But, But she was really very smart. She would open doors and go find open windows and stuff. Well, not the heavy doors and windows, but the ones that were kind of moderately sized. She was super smart. Eventually, it was her undoing though because she got hit by a car. But
yeah.
But yeah, we are talking about the Rockin Kats tonight. For the NES, I've got, like I said, I got a lot of cat talk. I got a decent amount to say about this game too. I think we'll see when we get into it. I may have lost my touch when it comes to podcasting, but we'll see.
Yeah, this game. Just to kind of spoiler alert, it basically plays on every quintessential cartoonish trope. It's got the cats versus dogs. It's just very, very typical Looney Tunes, almost like.
Yeah, we'll save it for later, but that's part of its charm, I think. But let's hold off on all of that. I do have a quick question for you before we get started. I know we'll probably go into historical tidbits and stuff here in just a second, but just real quick, do you know what a cat's favorite color is?
What's that?
It's purple. Gonna be lots of those tonight. Okay.
Maybe you should host the next Oscars with those jokes. I don't think anybody's going to get offended and slap you.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I've been curious. I've been trying to figure out. I got a few conspiracy theories about it. I got a few things I think about it. But what are your thoughts on the old Will Smith slap-a-thon?
I give it about a 50-60% chance but probably maybe 75% chance it was fake. Set up the Oscar. Their viewing has been abysmal. You know, Hollywood's kind of dead. The whole celebrity thing is not as cool as it used to be. And I think this was kind of a way to kind of get it back in the headlines, get it back in the news. It just didn't look real. One of the things that didn't, it's one of three things. It wasn't real. Will Smith's either not that strong, not as strong as I thought he would be, or Chris Rock's a lot tougher than I thought it would be, because, you know, Will Smith's got like 50 pounds on Chris Rock easy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if he hauls off like it looks like he does, swings all of his might to slap Chris Rock, I feel like it would like make him hit the deck or at least shake him up a little bit. And it didn't seem to do either. He just kind of like, okay, right after.
Yeah, and, he kind of acted shocked, but shocked in a, I can't believe that just happened, not, oh, my face hurts.
Right.
Which you would think it would be the latter.
Right. You would think Will Smith's much bigger guy, trained to be Muhammad Ali in a movie. He's probably got some power. And the fact that he hauls off and smacks him, and Chris Rock doesn't really even act like it does anything to him, it's kind of suspicious to me. I don't know.
It didn't really look kind of looked WWE to me. You know what I mean? It looked like a wrestling slap.
Right.
And maybe Will Smith didn't actually want to hurt him, right? He just wanted a show of force, so to speak. But also, Will Smith's not getting any pushback on this at all, and it's just all kind of weird. It's
all weird because then it's like, and obviously live in a time and age where comedy is like people get offended and all this and whatever. But like, you can talk about jokes being over the line. That's fine. But I mean, this kind of walking up and slapping a guy in the middle of a show, it's kind of like, really? And, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was a bit of a tasteless joke, but have you heard the big conspiracy theory about it? This is like from this is from the crazy side of things. This is like people believing in aliens type of deep conspiracy stuff.
So Chris Rock is an agent for Russia?
No, not that crazy, but close. It's I can't remember if it's like Pfizer or Moderna or somebody has an alopecia drug that's going through patent right now or something, and it's like, how do we bring?
It's Pfizer. Yeah, I heard
it's Pfizer.
I heard that. I have no idea if that's true or not, whether Pfizer has an alopecia drug, but that would be absurd. But I don't know. It just, to me, it's like, first of all, the fact that if it was real, and I guess really if it wasn't, I mean, I wouldn't think that everybody in the stands would be, or in the audience would be in on the joke or the fake. But like, they just kind of like cheer on Will Smith when he wins later. And it's kind of like, yeah, but this guy just kind of did a pretty douchey move,
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. It was just weird. It's like Jim Carrey was talking about it. It's like, this is why everybody else hates Hollywood. Like, this is just, it's just, yeah.
Would you have called the whole fiasco a catastrophe?
A catastrophe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what was a catastrophe. I tried to watch the Oscars, but my cat, he just kept hitting the pause button.
I did not watch that. I haven't watched an Oscars, I think, probably 20 years.
I didn't even know it was on, to be honest.
I don't have any interest in award shows, even like award shows for things like you'd think I would be interested in, like the ESPYs or something. Just don't watch any of it.
Yeah, you're just a big sour puss. All right, that's it for a minute. I'll hit the pause button on my stupid cat jokes.
Just a minute.
Yeah. All right, let's do some historical tidbits and trivia. Want to?
Now it's time for Justin's historical tidbits and trivia. Time to get out your D-pad notepads because you're about to get schooled by the doctor.
So Rockin Kats, published by none other than, or developed and published by none other than Atlas. We've talked about Atlas before. Unfortunately, if you remember from the quiz game that we played about on a previous Atlas game, I don't remember which one it was, but is a subsidiary of, unfortunately, Sega. So Atlas has been sold out. Yeah. And in 2013, they sold to Sega. So, it's unfortunate, but, what are you going to do? It's funny because, didn't like Sega go bankrupt? So like, how the hell are they buying anybody?
Yeah, I don't know how. Do they have any money?
Yeah. This game, I couldn't figure this out. And I'm really curious as to whether or not it's true. But the programmer is Masami Sato, and the artist is Sawako Sato. I wonder if it's brothers.
Or husband and wife. I don't know. I don't know Japanese names when it comes to...
or cousins or something. But so this game released on Nintendo Entertainment System.
Wait a minute, we're going to sound like idiots because aren't names backwards in Japan? Like, isn't it first name last and last name first? So they probably just have the first name. It's like two.
I don't know.
It's like two Bills. Know. It's like two Michaels and two Justins.
Maybe. It might be. Oh well. Sorry, to our Japanese speaking fans.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Yeah. This game brought on to Nintendo Entertainment System in Japan, released on April 5th, 1991. So we're almost coming up on the 31st anniversary of that. And North America, September 91, and then almost, or actually over a year later, in Europe in November 1992. So this was late in the NES cycle. Really not a whole lot out there for us to hit, tidbits of trivia for this game. I think it was one of Atlas's earlier games, and Atlas, the Satos, whether they're brother or sister or just a couple of Bills, this was their earliest work with the company Atlas. So, anyway, did you have this game growing up, luckily, or did you go on a quest to find it?
Well, before we get into that, let me say that I am looking up this Japanese name order thing, and yes, they do traditionally use the last name first or the family name first. So given name second, last name first. So just a couple Bills, couple Johns. Yeah,
nice. All right.
Although that means you got to be on the lookout for actual family members by looking at the first names. I mean, we could have run across untold amounts of like father-son combos or something at this point.
I know.
Oh well.
Well, all right.
So yeah.
So back to your journey.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the thrill of 8-bit discovery with Michael's quest to find the cart.
All right, so yeah, I was. This may be a bit of a long story, but I was driving down the road the other day, and I looked over to the side, and also this story is not for the faint of heart. I looked over to the side of the road, and there laid a black cat on the side of the road, and I was like, "Oh, that's a weird place for a cat to sleep," because he didn't look like he had been hit by a car or anything. He was just kind of laying there. I was like, "Well." I'll see you later, Black Cat. And it was on my usual route, so I passed it several times. Mm-hmm. And it was always laying there sleeping. I'm like, dang, that is one sleepy cat. And I just assumed that maybe he's just going to sleep all day in the grass where it's nice and in the nice cool grass on a warm, sunny day, And
yeah.
Wait, am I telling a story about a cat or getting this game? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just telling you that. I'm sorry. I was just going to tell you this story about this black cat that I saw, and it was actually dead.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it was weird because I think it had decided to crawl up in the grass and die. It had enough, and it didn't look mangled. It just looked like it peacefully passed away.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
this podcast is taking a dark turn.
Well, I tell you what, bring it back. And it did leave a will, and in its will, it left me a copy of Rockin Kats. So that's how I got this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
an honorary copy for being a cat.
Yeah, that's a really weird story. I kind of regret saying that one now. Oh well.
Well, you know what they say. Everybody wants to be a cat.
They do?
Yeah, everybody wants to be a cat.
Okay. I didn't think I did, but maybe I do.
Yeah, you just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Hey, I was wondering.
You know what that's from, right?
I don't.
You seem confused. The Aristocats.
Oh, I never really watched that movie. Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's a song in the movie. It's like, everybody wants to be a cat. So, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
All right, so this is like a series of bad jokes. So I'm going to bring us back. What does the cat say after making a bad joke?
I don't know.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. I did miss one really good opportunity to throw in a good joke earlier. So we're going to go back to the historical tidbits and trivia, or the story of the game. There you go.
Oh gosh. Okay.
All right. My goal tonight is to get the people to turn off the podcast because of the series of cat jokes that I'm telling. Not because we're just a usually bad podcast, but simply because of the terrible cat jokes.
You know who made it to the Frozen Four in hockey, college hockey? Minnesota State.
Oh.
I wonder if Craig T. Nelson's going to go to the Frozen Four then.
Probably. Was he a hockey coach or a football coach?
He was a football coach, but Minnesota State.
Yeah.
Probably a big fan.
Probably, yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not the Screaming Eagles. They're the Mavericks.
I miss Craig T. Nelson.
I think I'm gonna try to get a. They actually make T-shirts. Minnesota State Screaming Eagles.
Oh yeah, I'd get one of those.
Here's an actual vintage Coach shirt.
Oh, the Coach logo is pretty simple, but I kind of liked it.
Pretty sweet.
I really do think Craig T. Nelson. I've never met him in real life, but I would say he has a really good personality. Oh my gosh! All right, where's my boo button? Do I have a boo button?
Now you're gonna turn yourself off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn. I'm gonna flip the switch on myself. This is getting bad. All right, let's take a break. We'll do our sponsorship placement if we have one, and then we'll come back. We'll do some game talk.
I'm Tom Arnold, and I'm impressed that you're listening to Two Dudes and an S.
Time to dig into some good old-fashioned game discussion.
All right, let's give the people what they're here for. 20 minutes in. Let's talk about this game.
Even no more coach talk.
No more coach talk. I mean, I like coach talk, but
here's a trivia. Here's one trivia question for you that has to do with coach, and that is, what cartoon did the guy that played Dauber play a voice on?
He was Patrick on SpongeBob.
That's right.
Yeah, I knew that.
You know your coach trivia.
I know my Dauber trivia.
Just a big Dauber fan.
Just a big Dauber fan, yeah. Yeah. So I like to start.
He was kind of the buffoon.
He was a buffoon, and he kind of works as a buffoon in SpongeBob too, right? It's just kind of his character.
True. All right.
I wonder maybe he's a buffoon in real life.
Maybe.
I like.
He plays it because that's all he can do.
Yeah, that's right. Like the word. I like the word buffoon too. It's one of those words that just the sound of it describes exactly what it means. You know, you can use context clues to figure that one out.
Like moron. I feel like moron just sounds like something you just did, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, this game.
Yeah, let's go to the manual. Let's kick it off with the manual. Congratulations on your purchase of Rockin Kats for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We strongly recommend that you read through this instruction booklet before starting the game so you can have the most fun possible while playing. Certainly, I think I will. Good idea.
The most fun.
Yeah.
You'll have some fun if you don't read it. The most. Yeah.
It's going to require you to read it. And I will say, I wish I had read this before playing the game. And I'll tell you why here in a little bit. This is a good manual. Very colorful. Some really good cartoon drawings of the cat stuff. All right. Willie, the Rockin' Cat, our hero, and his girl Jill are the cutest couple to jazz around New York in years. Unfortunately, while Willie was doing a solo, the local crime boss, Muggsy, caught a peep at Jill and knew he had to have her. In his underhanded way, he sent his loyal pack of thugs to kidnap poor Jill. It was cat burglary, all right. By the time Willie finds out, his girl has been hidden away deep in the city. The fur starts to fly when he takes on the crime world to save her. Willie must find his way through the hot streets, a not-so-funny amusement park, and the Wild West, among other dangerous adventures, with only his punch gun at his side. You'd better go along to help out. Justin, you better go along to help him.
Yeah. I'm in. Going.
All right. Good. So I'll stop there for now. But did you play this game as a kid, Annie? Did you know this game existed?
Never knew this game even existed until we started talking about it, playing it for the podcast. It was not something that never caught my didn't get on my radar, which is surprising because this looks like a game I would be into.
Yeah, same here. I never saw it. I don't think any of our rental stores had it. And it just never popped up in my radar over the years. I think it's kind of maybe we'll discuss it whenever we get to the how much does it go for section, but I think it's kind of a rare, unknown game, it seems like.
Yeah, I think, late in the cycle, kind of later in the NES cycle. By this time, Super Nintendo, kind of coming about, and so these games kind of get sometimes lost in the shuffle, and some real good games get put in there. I think what I like about this game, and we'll get more into it about the graphic later, but like the way this game is, I like games that are really all in on the cartoon, because I think the graphics are better, because they could just invest in it's just a cartoon. They don't have to make it look like reality, right?
Right.
And so I think that's what makes the graphics really good in this game. Is like it's just a cartoon. It's like it's really almost a Looney Tunes feel to it,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that goes for gameplay and stuff too. The games that are more grounded in reality. Of course, there's some good ones. Obviously, there's plenty of good ones. But the more grounded in reality it is, the harder I feel like it is to pull off on NES. Not just from a graphic standpoint, but also just and maybe this is looking back with 2022 goggles on, but the more realistic, the kind of the dumber it seems on like an 8-bit system.
Right.
Frequently, like I said, I know there's definitely some really good games out there that go for the realism, but it seems like the games more like this are the ones that kind of have a charm about them, even with the old graphics and stuff.
Right. This is you play as the main character, Willie the cat, Slick Willie, Big Willie style, bringing it back to Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
His best gal gets kidnapped by Muggsy. Muggsy's a very very mob-like name, very bad guy name from like the 80s and 90s. All the bad guys in this game about cats are dogs, of course.
Yeah, it's cats versus dogs.
So, yeah.
I
love. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I love that, like just dogs versus cats, fighting like cats and dogs.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to describe the game because we haven't described the game yet for anybody who's unaware. It is essentially it's a side scroller. So you play as the cat. It's side scrolling, jumping, and punching, but it's a punch gun. So it's a gun that's like on a spring. It's got a hinge on it or whatever, and you can punch it in any direction essentially. The gimmick, so to speak, of this game is it's basically the same gimmick as in Bionic Commando, in that your punch gun can also grab things, and so you can grab onto ledges, grab onto light poles, you can grab onto just a bunch of stuff and like swing, and you spin in a circle, and you can also when you launch out of that, it's also an attack. So it's kind of I don't know. It's a fun mechanic, just to think about. But something I didn't realize at first, and I wish I would have realized, and not wasted, an hour playing the game first, is that there's a couple of like trick moves you can do. One being a punch jump, in which when you jump, you can punch the ground and it will send you up in the air. That one actually comes in pretty handy if you don't know how to do that at first. And you can also catch things. So you can catch things that are falling with your gripper hand thing and throw them. And so that's another thing that I really wish I would have figured out. And it tells you in the manual. So again, they're right. You should read the manual before you play this game.
Yeah. Don't you think there was a lot of like that in cartoons back in the day? The whole fist on like a spring or whatever, however you call that.
Yeah, I think I had one actually. I had one of those things as a kid.
So I had one, and I remember very vividly. A friend of mine from, I guess, it would have been elementary school, came over one day. It is somebody we both know that goes by the name Perry.
Yes.
And I had one, and I remember the fist on it was actually like plastic. Like it wasn't something that was soft. Perry kept walking into the living room and popping my dad in the back of the head with it. And my dad was not happy about it at all. But yeah, I just remember that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's one of those stories. It's even funnier if you know the person, right? Unfortunately, the listener doesn't.
Right.
But it's still funny to think about it. It's just sneaking into the living room and like punching your dad in the back of the head with the little glove gun or whatever.
Yeah.
Something else is pretty neat about this game. It's something I always love about games, especially these older games that can be more difficult, is you can pick whichever level you want to go to. So it's one of those, you don't have to, to experience every level, you don't have to be good enough to beat every level necessarily. I will say the difficulty in this game is not too high, actually. It's fairly reasonable until you get to the end. And then it gets pretty frustrating. But throughout most of the game, it's not that difficult. But a neat aspect of the game is that the difficulty is always progressively more difficult. Does that make sense? So no matter what channel you start on, as you beat the channels, they'll become harder. So you can play them in any order.
Right.
But I guess they just had it set so that depending on how many levels you had beat before you entered the next one, they're progressively always getting more difficult. So I think that's really cool.
Right.
Which means if you're really good at a level, and not so good at another one, this was my strategy anyways. If it was a level that was difficult for me, I usually did it first because it's easier at the beginning, and then if it's a level that I'm used to, then I would save it for last. So it's more difficult when I'm used to playing it. That was kind of my strategy.
Which one was your go-to first then?
My first one, let's see. Let me look at the channels again. The sky level, easy, yeah.
Okay.
Just that was the one I found.
Sky first.
Yeah, I found that one to be the most difficult. So I usually went with the sky first. What about you?
I just kind of went top to bottom. I was kind of started off subway. I know. Got to go in sequence. So I would start with the subway thing, which they all kind of have this different. They all kind of have like a moving component, a moving side-scrolling component, and then like a platforming section, and they all kind of have the same elements in them, right? Just different variety of bad guys mixed in there.
Right. Although I will say that doesn't really give the game enough credit because the way you described it sounds like they kind of do the same thing each level.
Well, that's true.
But there's a huge variety of maybe not gameplay as mechanics because you're right, they do kind of follow up a similar pattern, but the level variety there's quite a bit of level variety, like in what you do in the levels.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it's just the basic layout is what I was kind of painting.
Yeah, right. But I typically went with I did the Sky Ace first, and then I went, I don't know, I kind of mixed it up. I usually went with the Western or the Playland next. But I found the downtown street level to be easiest, so I usually did that one last.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the levels, since we're talking about them, or channels, I'm sorry. Channel 1, Downtown Street. Willie faces a raving pack of thugs on the streets of the Big Apple, but it's his town, and he'll dig out Muggsy.
Yeah.
And then Channel 2 is Sky Ace. Willie's no stranger to dogfights. He's more than ready to take on enemies at 40,000 feet, in or out of the airplane.
Wow.
Channel 3 is Playland. This park is no picnic. Traps have been set out in 100 different places for one cat. And then Channel 4 is Western Adventure. This is the one that's kind of weird to me. I don't know why there's a Western level in amongst New York, but yeah.
But I think they're all like good.
Oh, I was just going to say Channel 4 is the fastest punch gun in the West. He'll wipe out all the varmints and desperados in town. All right, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think, aren't they all kind of based loosely on, like, scenes from shows or movies.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
it's kind of the way I take it. Why the Western was involved.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, it's like a TV show, right? It is. It's like a cartoon. So there's different episodes or something, sort of. Yeah. And then Channel 5 is back on his native turf at last. Willie can't be beat down. But wait, what's that? Oh no, it's what is it? I don't know. All right. But yeah, so Channel 5, I believe it's Channel 5 does not unlock until after you beat the other 4. And then Channel 5 is not the end of the game, but it's close to.
Also, I have to say this about Sky Ace, the Sky Ace level. When Willie is riding a plane, isn't that like the similar scene of Sonic riding on the plane with Tails?
Very similar, yeah.
It's the exact same thing, right? Which one was first?
I don't know. Sonic 2. When did Sonic 2 come out? They're close.
Yeah, it's got to be real close. Of course, when I type in Sonic 2, it's the new movie.
Oh yeah, are you gonna watch it? By the way.
So it is. Oh, Sonic 2 didn't come out until November 92, so after this game. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just the first thing that I played this.
Yeah. Well. So I don't know. Should we spoil? Should you spoil it? This because there is another neat aspect to this game. So I said that I don't know if I said it or not, but I did beat it. Although I didn't exactly beat it because I rescued Jill, and what's kind of unique about this game is you rescue Jill, and the game is essentially over, right? After Channel 5, you defeat the giant monkey and rescue Jill, right? And so the game you win, right? Except after the credits or whatever, there's the Muggsy comes up and he says, "Wait, don't go. I've got one more thing. You want to try this challenge or whatever." And then there's like a final level that for me was extremely difficult and frustrating. And so I just kind of gave up and said, I beat it. Because I'd gotten Jill back, so I considered myself to have beat it. But man, it's weird because so channels 1 through 4, the first 4 that you do, are relatively on the easy side, if you ask me, for an NES game. And then the 5th channel, the last level, is it's kind of hard, but it's not super hard. It's harder. But then all of a sudden, this last level that comes in after you beat the game it's like impossible, or at least it was for me. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat. It's almost like there's a challenge level for you to try after you beat the game. And there is a password system, so you can go directly to it. But the password system, I do have a little bit of a gripe here. The password system, if you don't enter the correct password, I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. And maybe you know more than I do, but what had happened was I wrote the password down wrong, and I came back to play the game, and I tried to use the password, and it didn't work because I wrote it down wrong, and so it wouldn't. I couldn't get the game to start. I just had to reset it. So I don't know. I guess that's just it's not the end of the world.
Password or bust, man.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but whatever. But did you get to experience the challenge level? Did you beat it and get to try it out?
No, I didn't get that far.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really enjoyed this game, and sometimes when I enjoy them, I keep playing them until I beat them. It's rare. I know normally we talk about this show and we say, we're like, did you beat it? No. Did you beat it? No. Did you make it to past the first level? Nah. It's usually us. You know, we don't have the time, and that's just usually what we do. But yeah,
but it's usually into hard games. You know, you're trying to play and beat. You know.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't get for me. It didn't get seriously Nintendo hard until the end, and then it really does. And there's just some interesting platforming mechanics and stuff that you have to manage. I never made it. I didn't make it to the boss, so I don't even know. I don't know how much more difficult it gets, but I'm sure it does. I mean, I guess I didn't beat it.
Good. Yeah.
Because I never beat Muggsy.
Well,
Muggsy's not the final boss at level 5. It's some giant monkey guy.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say that's a good transition to talk about the bosses in this game. You first, I guess, you get in the subway downtown area. It's like you got the band. Basically,
band,
you're trying to kill this. Yeah, the bull band.
Yeah. I like so just before we go through each one of the bosses, I like the transition to the bosses. There's always like a little cut scene where they trash talk each other before you have to actually fight the boss.
Trash talk each other. But it's kind of quintessential, you're never going to take your girl back. Whatever.
Right, exactly. But no, sorry. Go back to talking about the fights. So the band, yeah, I thought the band was cool. It was basically a game of whack-a-mole with the lead singer, while the drummer and I can't remember the other guy, but the drummer and the saxophone player, maybe, I don't remember. But they drop things on you. I thought it was a cool fight. I enjoyed it.
You don't only have to beat the guy down on your level, but the two up above you.
Yeah. And then what's next? The airplane, I guess, is I don't even know what the guy that in the airplane is. He's like a cross of fists.
Yeah.
And some little dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is. It's hard to describe. He spins and he throws his fists at you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He was okay. He's kind of boring. But and then what we got? What's after that? The Playland.
Playland, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the boss in that one. Was it the clown? Yeah, it was the clown, yeah. The clown who is a clown dog riding inside of a clown dog's head. And he shoots stuff at you, and then every now and then he shoots stuff at you, and then every now and then he'll jump out of the head and roll around on the ground. He's a very Mega Man like boss. To me, he seemed very Mega Man like, and they're all pretty fun. They have their patterns and stuff. But I like the boss fights.
Yeah.
We got the Wild West. Oh, I hated the boss in the Wild West. The what was he? He's like an eagle or something. He's a bird.
Oh yeah.
I did not like that one because it was okay except for the fact that there were spikes on either side of the screen, and so it kind of limits how far you can go on either side. So yeah, not a fan of that one.
Then you get to the last level, and like you said, it's not Muggsy. It's a big monkey. A big monkey that does Muggsy's bidding, I guess.
Yeah. You do also have to do a boss gauntlet. You have to fight all the other bosses again before you get to the giant monkey. Which
is also, kind of fun. Kind of a fun element.
I liked all the other bosses, so it works.
But
again, that kind of adds to it's like the last level or Channel 5 is just the difficulty curve in this game is weird. And I know I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the manual, how they've got like the progressive difficulty, which I didn't know. I didn't really notice it too much, but you do notice it playing through the levels, and I think that's kind of neat. But then all of a sudden, 5 is a lot harder than all the other 4 levels, and then you have that last level. So I don't know. Again, it's nice.
Yeah.
There's a password system, which makes things nice. Also, anytime you die and you go back to the channel, you go back to where you were. You don't go back to the beginning.
Right.
I didn't test it, but it felt like you would go back to where you were, even if you went to another channel first and then came back. Does that make sense? It's like if you started in the airplane channel and then made it halfway through or whatever, and then you went to the Wild West, made it halfway through, and then you went back to the airplane channel, I think it puts you back in like the halfway point. At least that's what it felt like, which is kind of
I never
nice.
tried that out. Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that's really nice.
Something we haven't talked about yet are the power-ups, the items.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize. So when you're looking through the channel list, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think it's an S. Well, I didn't go to the S because I thought maybe the S was save, or I didn't know what the S was when I was playing it because I didn't read the manual like an idiot. Well, the S is a shop where you can spend your money on some super useful items. Which was stupid.
Like a bomb.
Yeah, well, there's a bomb. There's also a projectile that shoots balls out of your fist. That one is really useful. And then there's the jet sneakers.
Aptly named twin balls.
Yeah, twin balls. And then the jet sneakers, which lets you kind of float. They're all very useful items. And I just didn't think to go shopping in this game. But yeah, definitely recommend doing that and getting the twin balls for sure and the jet sneakers, because there's some pretty tricky platforming aspects in this game. So those jet sneakers really come in handy. Yeah.
There's also a lot of like the same, they do this kind of, like, you know, in the downtown, I guess the subway, you're like riding on a skateboard. I don't know, like you're kind of on a railroad skateboard. So there's kind of this moving element to the side scrolling aspect, and then you get to the one where you're on biplane, get flown around. There's always kind of this moving element, which is always an interesting way to play side-scrolling game.
Yeah, I imagine it was probably a pretty technical thing to do on the NES too, because you have like the background, the background's moving at a different rate than the foreground and stuff. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
Right.
And then lastly, one more gameplay element. This game's got a lot of gameplay elements to it. But one more gameplay. There's the bonus channel where you can play roulette, or you can play basketball.
Oh yeah.
Or you can do a pipe toss, where you catch these falling balls and try to throw them into a pipe. Basketball is pretty self-explanatory. You catch the basketball and try to shoot it in these moving hoops. And of course, roulette is roulette. I didn't really play roulette all that much. I'm not a real big gambler.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was neat. Then you can earn extra lives or money. So that's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we touched on the background. There's some moving elements and stuff, and we talked about how cartoony it is. But what's your overall feel on the graphics of this game?
My overall feel is actually really good. I kind of related to this earlier in the show, but I think when you have this just strictly cartoon, it makes the game almost look better because, you're not trying to make an element of reality to it. I think, looking back at all the games, the library is consistent. And I think this one is a perfect example. I actually think the backgrounds, everything really added to this game. The character fights were fantastic. Seems to be a lot of different use of colors as well. I mean, this this game, one of its, I think, best components was its graphics.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you experienced it. I did experience like some flicker and stutter and stuff, but that may very well be attributed to the way I played it being demo mode. I don't know, but
right, yeah.
But usually demo.
You never know.
Pretty, yeah, you never know. Usually it's pretty close to the original, and in terms of that though, so it's probably in the original game too. But I
typically hate to mention that because I'm afraid it doesn't actually exist in the real games.
Yeah,
when I play these demos, I'm going to get chastised by some purist out there.
Right, exactly. But I suspect that you can sometimes you can kind of tell the difference between whether or not it's a problem with the demo or if it's like an actual from the game. So I get a feeling that it's actually in the original game, but it's not so much it's not so distracting as it is sometimes in other games. So I didn't mind it too much.
Right.
The sprites are big, they're colorful. The levels there's a lot of variety to them. There's a lot of color. Mm-hmm. There's lots of color in the levels. You can really tell what people are, if that makes sense. Like what the enemies are. The graphics are great in this game. I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not the top 10 graphics in the NES, but they're definitely in the top 50% for sure. They're really good. What about the sound and the music, though? What do you think about that?
So I really like the sound. I mean, it's a little cartoony as well, but I think that plays really well into the game. I thought there was a good variety. I was a big fan of the sound and the music.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. It just fits the game perfectly. That's kind of the thing, right? It's not something you're going to go bumping down the road to in any given day, but it just matches the aesthetics of this game perfectly. So yeah, I think it works.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, it's no umbop, but you know.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Not everything can be umbop. Speaking of, I haven't heard that song in forever. I don't even know.
It made me think about it because I saw that they're like touring, and in fact, Ryman. Kind of interesting.
What's interesting?
That Hanson's going to be at the Ryman.
Oh, okay.
Imagine, you're going to the Ryman. What do you got to say, Hanson?
I know there's probably a lot of people out there that are like, dude, Hanson, man, once they got a little older, dude, their style changed. They're really good. They're metal or something. I don't know. I don't know what they could be now, but there's probably, I mean, they've been playing long enough. The Mbop song was super annoying and very poppy, but it was not like an NSYNC style poppy. It was, real instruments and it was a band. Mm-hmm. So I imagine that they've probably at least come out with something at this point that was decent and not just sugar-coated pop stuff.
So or they really leaned into the pop stuff.
Maybe. I mean, it could be. I mean, it really is Bop that much crazier than like a Beatles song or something. I mean, that's probably blasphemous to say because all the Beatles songs are way better, but it's just it's a kind of similar style, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're making a song about I want to hold your hand, I mean, it's how much different can it be?
Yeah. Anyways, all right. How do we get off on that tangent?
Tangent alert.
A little Hanson, huh?
Yeah, a little Hanson tangent. Yikes. All right. I had a question for you, but I don't forgot what it was. Like a unrelated question to the question I'm about to ask you now, which is,
okay,
is this game worth it? How much does it go for?
So loose price on PriceCharting.com, $175.
Wowza! Ooh.
Yeah, so I think this goes back to the reality, like these games late in the NES cycle, probably more rare because there probably wasn't a whole lot of them made. I think that's probably the example here.
Yeah. Wow. Even in 2007, it was going for like $30. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's just hard to say that, right? I mean, it has to be something crazy good. So.
Unless you're a collector, it's just I'm with you. It'd be hard to justify that for any game. But if you're a collector and you're looking and you're trying to fill out your collection and you're looking for games that are actually pretty good and pricey and not just expensive, but only because they're rare, this one's pretty good. This one's good. I like this game a lot.
This one's actually good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I would say it's worth it to somebody. Somebody bought it.
It would be worth it if it's 30. I'd pay 30 for it.
I'd probably pay 30. I'd probably pay $25, $30 for this game. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that. It's not, it's hard, because we're talking about, you got to push a lot of games off the list for that. But this game's good. I really enjoyed playing it. This is probably the best game we played in a while that I can remember. That I've actually just sat down and wanted to continue playing.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Lolo was fun. Don't get me wrong, but different style. Okay. Well, I guess we could do, if we have any, we could do some retrofitted trophies.
You know what this game needs? Some retrofitted trophies.
All right. Do you have any?
I do.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Hit me with one.
So they're kind of themed to the levels, beating the levels. So beating the downtown or the subway level, that is, take a bite out of crime. And that is because a lot of the dogs in that level I felt looked like McGruff, the crime fighting dog.
He does kind of look like McGruff. Scruff, McGruff, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
6065. Yep.
I really just wanted to sing that song. That's why I did it.
Well, you're welcome. All right. I've got one. It is it's called True Cat. And to get True Cat, you have to beat the game in under 9 lives.
Okay. My next one is going to be Tails is at you, and that is beating the Sky Ices level.
Okay.
It's because the plane looks like Tails driving you.
Right. I don't have any more, actually. I might be able to come up with one or two, but I'm very slacking on this one.
My next one is Pretty Panda, and that is beat the Playland level. Remember that awesome commercial back in the day?
Oh, I love that commercial so much. What was it? A commercial for Snickers?
It was Snickers, yeah. It's like if you're on like Pretty Panda. Oh man. My last next one is John Wayne would be beat the Western Adventure level.
Oh, I like that. Hey, speaking of the would be impressed, I guess we're gonna have to retire one of our would be impressed.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't speak the Putin name anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, that wasn't really Putin. Wasn't Putin.
Rejoiced. He rejoiced.
Putin rejoices, and it was always when something bad happens. I think we could still use it.
Okay, we just got to be careful about how we use it. Yeah.
Right. And Putin rejoices.
Yeah. Okay, well, then Putin rejoices trophy is making it to the last level and never beating it. Just trying over and over and over again. And
there you go.
You just keep trying. You just keep trying to beat that level. You keep trying to take Kiev, and you just never get it.
Yeah.
You know? Putin rejoices. There you go.
My last one. Got to play the hits sometimes. Tom Arnold would be impressed, and that is beat the game.
Nice. He would be impressed.
Yeah, he would.
Okay. All right. Cool. Did we have any? I didn't check. Have you checked the Facebook? I'll check it.
Oh, I think we did have somebody.
Oh, Cleva's got one, and it's good. It says the trophy is Bad Kitty. And to get Bad Kitty, you play the game in demo.
Oh, yeah.
And I like his demo machine. Actually, I'm kind of
that's pretty sweet looking, huh?
I'm impressed with that.
I'll tell you what I'm not impressed with. Speaking of Cleva, we put up that limited edition Xbox controller, Sonic and Knuckles, that's just like furry.
Oh yeah. I threw up a little bit in my mouth on that one. For sure. I got my mouth got a little watery looking at those, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of mouth getting watery and vomiting and all that good stuff.
Tangent alert.
My kid.
Been to Chili's lately?
No. Tyler. No, I've not been to Chili's in a long time. But no, I was just gonna say, I'm sure you've experienced similar things, having had several children, but Scott has started doing this thing where I don't know if it's a belch or hiccups or what, but he'll cover his mouth. And the first couple of times it really freaked us out because we thought he was about to throw up everywhere. But he'll cover his mouth and he'll say, he'll go, "Oh, falling out," and we're like, "What's falling out? What's falling out?" And sometimes and sometimes he'll say hiccups falling out, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's just hiccups." Yeah, that's
okay.
Fine. But sometimes he won't ever tell us what's falling out. He'll just cover his mouth, and he'll get this look on his face. He'll go, "It's falling out. It's falling out." And we're thinking, "Oh boy, that's not good."
What's falling out? What's falling out?
What's falling out, Scott? But no, it started because when he has to go to the bathroom, do number 2. That's how he tells us. He says, "Poo-poo's falling out."
Okay.
And he'll run to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You can tell us poo-poo's falling out when we go to the bathroom. But then he started saying something else is falling out and covering his mouth. We haven't been able to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think it's just hiccups. I think it's when he belches or hiccups, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kids say the darndest things. That's why I had a TV show about it.
It's awesome.
All right. Do we have any feedback?
Talk about that. We probably can't talk about that anymore, though. That show.
Which show? Kids say the darndest things.
Kids say, yeah. Well, didn't Cosby? Wasn't that a Cosby show?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Steve Harvey. I may be having a Mandela.
Well, he did the new one.
Oh, okay.
He did the new one, but I think the old one was Cosby.
I don't know. I can separate the man from the art in this case because that was a good little show.
Yeah, it was a Cosby thing. It was a Cosby show. Its IMDb rating is 3.3 out of 10. Do you think that's a recent development?
That's got to be a Cosby thing, just because people are so anti-Cosby now, and understandably so. But you know,
nobody's saying they appreciate what Cosby.
Yeah, I'm not condoning anything Cosby did. I'm just saying
that.
Yeah.
Well, haven't I talked about this on the podcast before? The Cosby Michael Jackson conundrum.
I don't know. I'm sure we've talked about something similar before. But what is your conundrum?
Both, accused of heinous crimes, and Cosby Show not on television anymore. Michael Jackson's still on the radio though.
It's true. I don't know. I wonder if it's a case of having to see his face or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if you had to look at Michael Jackson's face, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unrelated to. It's unrelated.
Unrelated to anything he's done, but you probably wouldn't want to listen to his music.
Right.
I don't know. I wonder if it's like because the Cosby Show. Man, I don't know. It's interesting. You have to wonder based on what they did. Maybe people can separate Michael Jackson because he's just singing about stuff and dancing like a crazy person, but his music videos are some of them are kind of creepy looking back now that you think about what he potentially did, right? So,
right, yeah, right.
I don't know. Me personally, I don't have any trouble either way. Separating the art from the artist or whatever, but it does bother me that money can still go to these people, right? Or their estate.
Yeah.
Because I listen to it. But in the case of Michael Jackson, I mean, my listens amount. I don't listen to Michael Jackson very often, if at all, anymore. So
very rare.
My listens amount to like 2 pennies for him, maybe.
Yeah.
He's dead, anyways. So, right? He did. Yeah, he did.
Right. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago now.
Yeah. So, time flies. Hey, speaking of time, it's time to end this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I heard another crazy conspiracy. Not really conspiracy, but have you heard the latest theory? It may not even be latest, actually. Just it's latest to me about the we're all dead theory or whatever. Like everybody in the world is already dead. This is a wild. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Okay, but it's fun to think about. It's one of those thought experiments of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like what's the simulation theory? What's that Elon Musk thinks we're all inside a computer or something?
Oh yeah.
But anyways, so the theory, the we're all dead theory goes something along the lines of, and there's a couple caveats. One is you have to believe that your life flashes before your eyes when you die, which there's some studies that show that potentially maybe it does, but nobody really knows, right? There's no way to know if your life truly flashes before your eyes before you die, or like as soon as you die. And 2 is that the brain is active for 7 minutes after the heart stops, which I think they've shown that it kind of does a few things, right? There's a few neurons firing, but do they really do anything? No, probably not.
Yeah.
But anyways, so those are the 2 caveats. But what it's saying is when your life flashes before your eyes in those 7 minutes, it's during those 7 minutes. And since Einstein says that time is relative, that those 7 minutes can feel like a lifetime. So everybody is like dead and in their 7 minutes. And we're all in like a collective subconscious. And like we all died in like an instant. And so that everybody died all at the same time. Like there was like a asteroid or something that hit the planet and just killed everybody all at the same time. And we're all living our life over again in this moment.
Yeah.
During our little 7 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't believe it, but I think
that's pretty wild. Yeah.
I still think it's a pretty wild theory that somebody thought of. The funniest thing to me, now, we don't ever really get religious on this podcast, and I don't care to now, but I think it's funny how just in life in general that there is no, like all these theories and all this science that we do, we keep learning more and more about the Earth and more about the universe and all this stuff. And nothing we do can either prove or disprove the existence of a God. That just seems wild to me. Like you can't go either way. Like how's that?
Right.
That is the crazy like mind theory, right? How is it that you can't go either way? Like to definitively prove or disprove that.
Right.
That to me is pretty wild. But anyways.
Well, here's something funny to get you off that deep subject. Dean Norris, actor, was in Breaking Bad. He put up on Twitter, he said, really wish Joe Rogan was the comic who told the joke about Will's wife last night. We'd all be talking about Coda winning Best Picture or waiting on updates from the ICU. Oh, man.
That's
so,
funny.
Anyway. Oh, where were we? Feedback, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Facebook feedback. Please, as I yawn.
Jesse Clever said, my only thought is that it's about time.
About time that we talked about Rockin Kats or about time that we came back and did a podcast period?
Probably both.
Yeah.
Gabe Van Gilder said, never heard of it. Looks like a decent game. Chris Vanderhoff, sploosh, plop, plop, sploosh. Okay.
He likes to play this game. He likes to play this game while using the bathroom. Okay.
I guess so. Otto Gregerson said it's a great game. Some may even say it's a gem. How dare you, Otto? Want to get read on this podcast? Do something like that. And Brandon Fish says, just watched the long play on YouTube. It looks incredibly fun, and I've never heard of it. But dang, it's an expensive cartridge.
Yep.
That is true.
That's why there's a lot of demos going around for this one.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. I've got a couple of voicemails if you got time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. I've got 3 of them, and I have not screened any of them, so I have no idea what they are. Always the best way to approach.
I love it. I hope it's like some kind of scam.
Hold up. 2 things. Wait a minute. I've made a big mistake. Big mistake. First of all, I didn't play this.
It's time for D-Patter feedback, because when you're a D-Patter, you're a D-Patter for life.
Right? And we're doing feedback. But before we continue feedback, we forgot one of the freaking segments on this show.
No game is worthy until
rating.
The dudes have spoken. It's time for the game rating.
Yeah. Hello. So, how do you want to rate this one?
How about type of tie? Like a tie that you wear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. I'll go first. I'll go with a bolo tie.
Bolo tie, huh?
Yes, sir. Because you don't see them that often. It's pretty rare. But boy, they're fancy. It's kind of like this game. It's kind of rare, but man, it's pretty good.
There's speaking of Joe Rogan and bolo tie. I don't know if you're familiar with the comedian Tim Dillon, but he's, his comedy is about the farthest from family friendly. So if that's what you're looking for, don't look him up. But he was talking about the Joe Rogan podcast with the Robert Malone guy, and it kind of got controversial. And he said something. I guess on the podcast, Robert Malone was wearing a bolo tie. Tim Dillon said nothing instills confidence in your doctor like a bolo tie.
What's the guy's name?
Tim Dillon.
No, what's the guy that was wearing the bolo tie?
Robert Malone.
Okay, I'm looking at
it was the episode. I guess he's kind of like he had something to do with, like the early research on mRNA vaccines, and he's kind of an anti-COVID vax guy, I guess.
Gotcha.
Well, but that was like the episode that got Joe Rogan in such hot water there for a little while. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what comes up.
Apparently, he was wearing a bolo tie.
When you search Robert Malone bolo tie, I'll tell you what comes up. Post Malone in a really fancy checkerboard suit and a bolo tie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Post Malone is Tyler Childers wearing a shirt of Post Malone wearing a Tyler Childers shirt.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. Did you see the tweet that Post Malone it was like a tweet the other day. It was pretty funny. I meant to send it to you. And this is really good pod, by the way. But there was a tweet where there was a picture of this guy with Shia LaBeouf. And he tweeted out a picture of him and Shia LaBeouf and said, "Really great meeting Post Malone today." And Post Malone retweeted it and said, "Wait, that's never mind. Nice meeting you too." I thought that was pretty funny. Because I guess they look kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, you didn't laugh, so I guess it wasn't that funny. But
I didn't laugh. I just laughed.
Oh, okay. All right. It must have been cut out. Yep. All right. Anyways, have you been laughing at my cat jokes this whole time too? Then I just haven't heard that. Or
I have.
Okay.
I have. Now, I will rate it as a bow tie because
fancy.
It's fancy, but it's also kind of cartoonish. The bow tie is kind of a cartoonish thing. So, this is a cartoonish game, but it's also a kind of a classic.
Yeah, that's true. I like the tie that he wears in this game. It's like one of those oversized ones. It's like really big.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Well,
alrighty.
Oh yeah, I got back to feedback. I got voicemails. Ready?
Yep.
Dudes, what is up? It is JZNES back again, talking to you guys. I see you're playing some Rockin Kats. That's awesome. That's pretty rockin'. I love that game. One of the better. I think it's kind of underrated. Good Atlas game. Nobody really talks about it. I love the mechanic of the glove and spinning around and you can jump and stuff. It's pretty cool. And it's about Rockin Kats. How do you get much better than that, right? I love cats, and I love when they're rocking. So, but yeah, this is definitely one of Atlas's earlier good games before they really hit it big with Persona and stuff. But yeah, so Rockin Kats, pretty good game there for the NES. So until next time, it's been JZNES. Saying keep it classic, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ out.
All right. Thanks, JZ. Can always count on JZ.
Yeah.
With the quality.
Absolutely.
The quality voicemail. All right. Let's see what else we got.
Hey, been a fan since episode 1. If you haven't done an episode on Bionic Commando, which I don't remember if you did or not, I'd like that, which is by far the best game. And I also thought Codename Viper was this Vice Doom game. So, I agree with you on that. All right. I love you guys.
I'm not alone. Love you too. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not alone on that because I felt a little awkward on the show and everybody else thought I was an idiot, but good. I'm not alone. And fan since episode 1. Wow. That's dedication because those were some doozies back in the early days.
Yeah.
Although some people would say they're doozy, they're still a little doozy. As in,
they're the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, we're coming back. It's been a long time. The podcast has been a laying a bit dormant for the last little bit. And he told me,
said, "Oh, you're still doing that?"
Yeah. And he said, "Hey, a delayed episode of Two Dudes and an S might be bad, but a rushed episode of Two Dudes and an S also bad. I don't listen to your show. You guys suck." That's what he said. And that was Miyamoto said that. So I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was about right.
Something like that. Something like that.
He said we were going to give you a cease and desist letter, and then nobody listened anyway. So forget it.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. One more.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's warranty. We recently sent you something in the mail about your extended warranty expiring.
Oh, no.
Since we didn't get a response from you, we're just reaching out to you one last time before we close your file, and your extended warranty is canceled. Would you like to speak to a specialist?
Oh, they closed the file.
Yeah, I don't know. This voicemail's a bit old. I bet they closed it. We know what, Justin. I hate to break it to you. This podcast no longer has car insurance.
Oh no!
Our warranty on our podcasting cars has expired.
Oh well.
All right, it's good. It's good to know that our podcast gets junk mail too.
I do. I love it.
Spam calls. Okay. All right. You want one or two more cat jokes, or you want to just call it a night? I've got a couple more.
Good as they are. Let's hear it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I was afraid. My cat, he wanted a computer, and I said, "Okay, sure, we'll get you a laptop or something." And he said, "No, I don't want a laptop." I said, "Why? What's wrong with a laptop?" "No mouse." Yeah, like that. So we, so we decided that we would get him a desktop, and so we went and we looked through the catalog. All right, that's it. I'll stop.
Well, you can find us and all of our feedback on social media with Facebook, on the Bit Brothers retro gaming community. Join the community there and get updates from latest podcast news.
Yep, that's the best place to go. Shout out to the Wee Dude for the music, Nico's 8-Bit Stereo on YouTube. Shout out to the Fox Dude for the logo. And leave us a review on iTunes. Now that we think we're back, we say we're back, and I really do feel like we're back this time because I've got most of my burdens behind me for now. And I think you probably do too. We're in a good place where we're just kind of normal working folk and not trying to do school and weird things like that. I think we're going to be back. So go ahead and you can go leave us a review now. Now that you don't have bad feelings towards us, right, guys? The 2 or 3 of you that may still be listening, holding out. And give us a call too. 775-773-8761 or 775-7-RETRO-1. It's the same number if you know how to use alphanumerics on your little touchpad. And leave us a voicemail and you can maybe let us know about our car warranty or whatever. I don't care. Talk about the game if you'd like.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Closing it out.
Well,
Promise.
bye, everybody.
Bye.